Have you ever had your kid scratch your car with a bike handle, or maybe drag that beach bag across the hood, only to find a gnarly scuff over here somewhere? Maybe somebody parked too close to you at the grocery store, and now your door's got their paint on it. It happens, life happens, but here's the deal. You don't need a paint shop or $500 to $700 detail job to fix it. This isn't about deep gouges or swirl marks that are all over the paint. I'm just talking about those 1 or 2 blemishes that drive you completely insane every time you see them. The little ones that mess with your car's vibe, making it look older than it is, and honestly don't even really need to be there. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to safely and effectively remove these annoying scratches using nothing more than a simple handheld battery-powered polisher, no expensive pro-level equipment, no pro training, no guesswork. Whether the paint transfers from a parking lot door ding, a scuff from loading some gear, mystery mark from who knows where, I'm going to show you these tools, the techniques that you need, and the products that I use that's going to help make that disappear and bring back that clean, slick finish. So before you think you've got a permanent mark that you have to live with, don't start Googling body shops. Hang tight with me and check this out. So before we get started with any kind of paint polishing or anything, we just need to make sure the area we're working on is clean. I've got a few scratches over here that I want to get out in this area, and I want to make sure I have enough room to work on here. I'm going to get some polish in the hood. It's going to fling a little bit everywhere, so I just kind of have to come back and wipe it down from time to time, and I don't want to be wiping any more dirt from the rest of the car into the paint, especially in the areas I'm not going to polish. And we want to remove any dirt from here so we don't grind that into the paint. Once you got your area cleaned up a bit, you can just go ahead and dry it up. Now guys, I really like this process for small scratches and scuffs and scrapes, paint transfers, those kinds of things, because it's super quick and easy and it makes a really noticeable difference. I'm going to show you here on this one. All right, so once you've got it wiped back, what I like to do is just, got a couple of scratches here, and I like to just take my nail and make sure that I can't stop my finger from moving across it. If you can catch a nail in it, fingernail that is, that means that your scratch is too deep for you to polish it out. One thing you need to understand about modern paints is that they're usually a multi-stage paint. So they'll start off with primer on the car, then they'll paint it the base coat. This car is a black pearl really, and then they'll put a clear coat on it. And if the scratch has gone through the clear coat into the base coat, or even worse, through the clear coat and the base coat into the primer, polishing is not going to remove the scratch. It's just way too deep. So if you can catch a nail in there, it's probably too deep. If it's just a surface scuff or scrape that hasn't really penetrated too deep into the clear coat, which is the external coat, then we can usually polish that out. It'll completely disappear. So these here, I can tell just from experience and also from trying to catch my nail in it. I've got 3 scratches on here I actually want to remove. Next step, once I've got this prepped with washing in the area and I understand that I can actually remove this scuff, I want to use a clay bar here. I've got something from Chemical Guys. It doesn't really matter what brand you use. And a little tiny piece of clay bar. Some soapy water is all you really need. And I want to clay bar the area that we're going to polish. So a little bit more water on here. And then just lightly going over the area. This is going to remove any foreign matter from the paint. Kind of dust, particles, or things that might be embedded in the paint. Again, when we're polishing with some sort of a high-speed polisher, we don't want to be embedding any stuff in there or pushing any stuff in there that's embedded in the paint further into the paint or moving it around the paint and creating more problems. So just a little bit of work here with the clay bar makes it nice and smooth. It'll pull those things out of there, and then we've got a nice surface to polish on. You can go ahead and wipe that back with your towel. The next step here is we're going to select a pad for this little polisher. This is actually made by Milwaukee. It's one of their M12 products. If you guys have been watching any of my other videos, I love all these Milwaukee M12 tools. They all use the same exact battery and charger, which makes it nice. I can swap batteries. I've got a million of these things because I've got so many of these tools. It's just super handy to have around the garage, around the workshop, at home, wherever you got. I like this tool a lot, and I use it constantly. And we're in the field of fixing cars, and not to mention I did professional detailing for many years, so I can tell you this is probably the first thing I grab if somebody tells me they've got a little scratch in their car or something they'd like to get removed. You'll see here this only takes a few minutes, and it really does a great job. So selecting a pad on here, you can get these from Amazon. These are just little Velcro pads, And I would suggest that you just get yourself a little bundle of them if you're going to buy one of these tools. They last quite a while if you clean them out after each use, but it's nice to have a little assortment of them. This one is here as a firm pad, and I'm going to be using this RUPES Rotary Coarse Polish. So I've been using these RUPES products for years, and I've got a lot of giant RUPES polishers, the big professional style ones from my old detailing business. So I'm really partial to the RUPES products, and especially their polishes. This one works really good with this little Milwaukee. There's lots of other polishes you can use. You just need to keep in mind a couple of things. If you're going to use this tool, this is a rotary tool. The difference between this one and another one that is not rotary would be called the dual action or DA polisher. So a rotary tool only spins in a circle, and then a DA polisher spins in a circle. It's dual action, and it also orbits. It allows you to have a finer polish, something that will remove swirl marks. This tool will not. This will remove scratches and scuffs, paint transfer, and it'll do it quickly. You need a dual action machine to remove the swirl marks. So this video is not about that. I can make another one for you here in the future, but I just want to show you how to get these unsightly scratches out. I'm just going to put a little dab on here, maybe about a size of a dime, and then I'm going to work it into the pad. If you don't work it in here, it's going to fly everywhere. It's going to fling a little bit anyway, but you want to make sure you work it in there. This pad is brand new, so I might just put a little bit of extra around the edge here. You don't need a ton of product on there, just a few dabs. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly work this area. I don't want to be pressing hard with the polisher. I'm just going to go back and forth, and I want to make sure that the polish stays wet. If this starts to dry out, it will cut a little faster and it'll look better, but if you have an opportunity to burn the paint with a rotary polisher like this. So you kind of want to work quick. You want to use more polish if you need to do more work, and we're just going to quickly get this scratch out. Okay, so my polish is starting to dry out a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit more on. Again, work it into the pad, and I'm going to continue. Love to hear from you guys down in the comments if you've got any thoughts on the process here, on these chemicals that I'm using, or on the tool that we're using. If you've got any experience doing these types of things, go ahead and let us know. We want to interact with you. We want to hear what you're thinking about. And we want to know what else you'd like to see. We've got tons of content we can bring you in the detailing realm if you're interested in how to restore your plastics maybe. I've done a video on how to restore your headlights. You can check that one out in our playlist already. And we've got tons more ideas we can bring you, but we need to hear from you in the comments. I'll go ahead and take a clean towel, and I want to buff this area back so I can get a better inspection. I want to see what kind of progress I'm making on here. So I can see I've almost completely removed the 3 scratches on here. I see a little bit of this one still, and the other 2 are probably 90% gone. I'm going to hit this a little bit longer, put some more polish on, and we'll keep working this product in here. Again, I'm not applying any pressure really on here, very mild. I'm just trying to keep the pad flat on the paint. And in addition to buffing the scratches, you can spend a little extra time on the scratches, but I want to blend this a little bit. I want to make sure I'm moving around this panel a little bit and not just that one spot. When you need to level this paint on here, the clear coat, we don't want just one spot getting worn down. Okay, now see this one here is a little bit deeper. I'm going to go one more time on here, and I think we should be good. I'm just blending in around into a little bit of a larger panel here. We'll buff this back, and I can no longer find these scratches in here. They're completely gone. All right, guys, well, I'm polishing this here off, wiping the product back off of here, and it looks really good now. Obviously, I did a few passes on it here with the polisher, and the third one or so seemed to really take the rest of it out. I can't even find a trace of any of those scratches that were in here. So it's looking good. We blended it out just a little bit so we don't have one super shiny spot right in the middle. Tried to blend that back a little. And I also wanted to mention a couple of things while I'm here. Now that we've polished this here, you might want to put a little bit of wax on it. So I'll probably take this hood. I've got a little bit of product that's splattered all over the place. It's all over my shirt here, but we're going to go ahead and wash this hood back off, and then I'm going to just apply a little bit of wax in this area here to make sure the paint's protected now that we've stripped it back with the polisher. So I wanted to point out a couple of things. I did use that polisher with a coarse pad. You could use a finer pad if you wanted to, and I do have a fine polish here. But there is one more step that you may want to take depending on your car. That rotary polisher doesn't remove swirl marks and things. If you really wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of making your car look immaculate, you would need a dual action polisher, and I would probably recommend you use the fine polish for that with the dual action polisher to get really like a show car finish if you were trying to achieve that. Now, if you guys are interested in that type of stuff, I do have a video we released a while back where I did a full ceramic coat on a Porsche 911. We went ahead and washed, clay barred the entire car, we polished the entire car, and then we did a ceramic coat on it. So the steps for how to use a professional polisher are in that video. You can go ahead and check it out in our playlist somewhere. If you want to see more content like that, you can let us know down in the comments. But this is the simple, easy process for removing a couple of unsightly scratches that you may have picked up somewhere without a whole lot of work. I'll tell you guys, this is, once you get the process down, you're probably just a 3 or 4 minute process, and you can get rid of that stuff that makes you crazy. I hope you're enjoying this content. I appreciate you guys following along in this video. I'm going to leave some links in the comments below if you guys are interested in this tool, if you're interested in these rotary polishes that I've been using with this rotary machine. I'll put those in the links as well, and maybe if you want a recommendation for a clay bar, I'll throw that in there too. I'll link all those products to Amazon for you, and you can check them out on your own. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.